universities here in, the United States. Um, I think we all remember there was that alleged gang rape at the University of Virginia. Um, and in November, Rolling Stone put out a really long graphic account of the girl's whole experience with this, all these fraternity members. But turns out police just this week admitted that there was no evidence found. So there was all that big to do, this dramatic article from Rolling Stone, and it just came out that there is no evidence.
I think it's fucked up because now this is just going to make it harder for anyone who actually has been raped at these colleges. Because
Exactly.
it can go on. And now it's going to ruin their credibility with this huge scandal,
Yeah. Well, now, luckily, a lot of, anybody that had written about it has to come back and, talk about the factual issues, so Rolling Stone is working on a new article, admitting that they didn't have all the correct evidence and that, they claim to have interviewed the men who were involved in the gang rape. And they just, admitted also that they had never actually talked to the men. They just talked to some, people on campus that, of course, everybody wanted to have something to say about it. So, and Rolling Stone also claimed that the school mishandled the incident. They said, justice was not served. And so they had to come back and say, sorry, we totally discredited the University of Virginia, and we're sorry, and, we were wrong, basically. But it does, Victoria, like you said, that's the whole problem with, these rape scandals now, because people, they make it seem like such a big deal, and then it comes out that it's lies, and then what do the people who are actually trying to say, no, I got raped, what do they do then? What do we say?
Harder for everybody else.
It's crazy. Yeah, exactly.
This is a big mess for Rolling Stone, who is a big publication and stuff like that. It just looks really bad on their part.
See, yeah, and a lot of people now, they don't want to think about things and they don't want to work for things. Had Rolling Stone just waited a second and not just try to jump on this story because it's the hottest thing out right now and did their research and verified facts and did all these things, they wouldn't have to embarrass themselves and retract their story. But the problem with everybody is, once you let something slip out of your mouth, it's a big scandal. Nobody verifies anything. It doesn't matter whether or not it's true. So we talk about
it. Exactly. But so that's the University of Virginia, but also the University of Oklahoma has recently severed ties with one of their biggest fraternities because the fraternity was filmed on a bus chanting racial slurs, to say the least, because I heard it and it was horrifying. It was really, really graphic about slaves hanging from a tree, and it was really awful. So the president of the University of Oklahoma, he tweeted, he had a statement. He said he was sickened. He said the members are absolutely disgraceful. He wanted to make it clear that is not who they are. He totally cut all ties off with the fraternity, ordered that the fraternity house be closed down. So, at least they're really doing something about it, because that is so horrible and not okay.
Yes, but also there was a Vine that was released of, allegedly, she's the mother of the house. She was also chanting racial slurs, and that Vine was 2 years ago. So, is it shocking? Did the university never hear chants like that? Did anyone on campus never hear that before? Or are we doing something because it's now a video that the world has been able to see because it's on the internet?
That's
I think something like that video was very powerful, and you can see everyone's true colors who's now going to say, I'm not a racist even though I said those things.
Yeah.
Which, you're only saying that because it's publicly released. So
yeah.
I really don't know. I feel like the university is doing what they're doing to be politically correct. I can't say that they never heard that before.
They're not doing it to correct the issue.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they did, what else, it happened, what else can you do now? I mean, but he did, close the fraternity house, it's completely, that fraternity does not exist anymore.
Yeah, which I don't, that's the right thing to do, but my thing is, was this the first time that something like this was said on the bus? Was a teacher on the bus? I'm sure there were instances prior to this one where it happened and nothing was done about it, because obviously they were caught on tape doing it again. It's just the behavior.
Yeah.
When you see these videos, when certain things come out to light, you have to look at the behavior of the person who's doing it. Does this look like it's the first time this was chanted? And I have to say, no, it does not.
Definitely not, because I'm pretty sure someone just made up the song and everyone memorized the song. It's something on the bus that day. It's just something that they've been doing for a while now.
For a while.
Everybody
It's a
was dancing on the
routine.
bus together.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah, but, so either way, I mean, they're trying, I guess, to the best of their capabilities to, end it without, I mean, they can't stop anybody ever from, racial slurs, but, so they're trying, I guess. But, anyway, so that's that on universities. But, tonight, the last thing I wanted to mention was a new, film on HBO is coming out all about Scientology, which is like totally a hot thing because, Tom Cruise, Will Smith, like a lot of Hollywood, is, Scientology. So the movie is called Going Clear, Scientology and the Prison of Belief. And it is based off a book, but the whole movie is told in narratives from ex-Scientologists. So they tell their story, they a lot of them are speaking out against it for a lot of different reasons. It is kind of imprisonating for some people have said. There have been stories about, families being broken up, like daughters being taken away from their mothers, and like some pretty awful stuff. So apparently they say, like, after watching this movie, you're going to wish that Scientology doesn't exist, which, totally, up to each their own. But so they tell all stories about abuse, manipulation, shame, and the trauma that they all went through. So that airs tonight on HBO.
That's going to be interesting to see, for sure. And it depends with who's making it and what their motive is. So if their motive is to show how... I'm sorry.
I hear you.
Oh, okay. So, I guess it's going to be interesting to see the truth behind it all, for sure.
Mm-hmm. I'm amazed that Scientology is still a thing in America. There's I think it was Germany or France ruled it as a cult. They got no government funding and stuff because it essentially is a cult. We just have celebrities endorsing it. But I heard that one of the reasons why they have these big celebrities is because Scientology is notorious for digging up dirt on people. So a lot of these celebrities, I heard, are being blackmailed by, I guess, big secrets that could ruin their career. I mean, John Travolta, who is a Scientologist, in recent years it's come out that while he's married to a woman, he's had a bunch of affairs with men. And I guess that would ruin his career, although I feel like in 2015 nobody cares if you're gay anymore.
At all.
Yeah, no one really cares anymore, but I heard that's the reason why he's being tied to Scientology.
Interesting. So this is all coming from, the mouths of Scientologists. So I guess we'll get a good inside look from the practitioners themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we only have about 2 minutes left. So, Phoenix, we want to hear from you what you have for us today.